prefabricated structures. So previously we have discussed about the disunitting of structures, that is a demountable precast concrete system, and now we are moving on to the next part, that is cross section based on materials used, efficiency of material used. So in this lecture we are going to see about how the material is being differentiated, and also the cross section which are economical and which are efficiency. Those things will be discussed here. So first, in this part we need to know what are the materials are involved. Not only on the materials, we are not going to study about what are the materials which are going to used in the prefabrication, but instead of that we are going to choose the material based upon their object, which are maybe in shapes. We can relate the material in terms of shapes. So here we have two types. That is, first one is homogeneous and composite. So homogeneous, normally we know what is meant by homogeneous. It is made up of only one material. So this is termed as an homogeneous prefabrication. So in this we are going to discuss about what are the limits which are been involved in the homogeneous. Okay, so we have generally three things: solid, hollow and ribbed. So solid is nothing but it is an cross section which is made up of only one material, and there will not be any openings which are not provided in the solid object. It looks like a solid object, like a brick. There is no any deviation in their dimensions. But hollow is not similar to the solid. Here we have some holes or hollow openings which are provided in their sections. So this is the difference between the solid and hollow. And ribbed, it is looks like a beam. Okay, so these are three things which are involved in the homogeneous. If the three things, either it may be a solid or a hollow or ribbed, okay, it is made up of only one material. There is not involved of any other materials. So it is termed as an homogeneous panel. Okay, so you can make a clear view about this. So here we are discussed about the homogeneous part, okay, in material. And then we are moving on to the composite. So composite is nothing but we are going to make the panels with more than one material, that are said to be in composite. So it is going to be a combined form. The best example for composite is wall panels. Okay, so wall panels are provided with the insulating layer, right? So which will be present at the center of the wall panel. So the outer and inner are both have different materials. So the different materials are combined and formed as a single panel. So these are said to be a composite panel. So based upon the material we have discussed the composite definitions. And now here also you have some types like previous one. So solid, cored and ribbed. So the solid is nothing but it is a cross section which is more than one material. Okay, right? The two solid objects, the best example for solid is same, the wall panel only. Okay, if it is a cored, the cored members, the different cores are made. Okay, core members. Okay, that is made up of more than one material. And then solid, I forgot to say that there is two type of layer. One is structural and non-structural. If it is a structural, it going to carry the loads. If it is non-structural, it does not going to carry the loads. That is the difference. And the same one for ribbed also. Okay, so these are discussed based upon the point of material usage in the prefabrications, based upon their shapes. Okay, not based upon the size, based upon the shape. So this is the first part. Now we are moving on to the next. So the next part is nothing but we are going to classify the things based upon their sizes. Okay, normally in our site conditions we cast the columns in shape of square or rectangle. We are moving on to that part because the section, rectangular section, the framework and shuttering are very easy while you compare to the I section or T section or U section or V section. But you can carry the same load in I section or T section or U section. Based upon that you can minimize the dimensions also. But we are not going for that because the prefabrication work is very easy in rectangular section while you considering to the other sections. Okay, so we are not going to imply the strength of material concepts on the definition of on the defining of sizes of prefabricated components. So this is the major task. For that we are discussing these points, right? So here also we are going to discuss that thing. The shape may be either the shape may be solid or hollow or anything, but the profile, what the profile is given, they are mentioning that rectangular section is good in structural carrying capacity also, and also the prefabrication work, but the disadvantage is it is not more economical. Okay, we need to consider the point of economical also. It is not more economical. Okay, so this is the main point. So we are going to imply the strength of material concept here. So based upon that we are going to find out the form factor. So the form factor says about which is economical and which is not economical. So in this point we are getting the rectangular cross section as 1. The form factor is said to be in 1. So you can see that from the slide. And then it is related with the modulus of resistance. So by that only you are going to find out the rectangular cross sections form factor. So while you going to calculate I, T, U and V shaped, okay, so we are going to calculate that form factors for those section, and we are getting all the values less than 1. So these days every material I, T, U or V, okay, so these materials are more economical while you comparing with the rectangular one. Either it may be homogeneous or composite, but here they are mentioning that reducing the sizes does not affect the load carrying capacity, but also it makes that area can be minimized, and by that we can restrict the cost of the prefabrications. So this is the main point. So we can save the cost. So that is been primarily objected, and for I profile also the form factor value is given, and for the pre-stressed concrete section also it has been listed here. So we are moving on to the next small topic, that is fretted structures, trusses and wear and tear. It is also combined with the cross section. Okay, so the main concept of wear and tear and fretted structures, so it is nothing but there is nothing more difference between the fretted and a solid beam. So both the things are similar, but in the fretted there will be a different openings in the body which are being given in the beams. So it is given because to obtain the savings in the materials and to lessen the dead load. Okay, we are going to reduce the dead load. By that we can minimize the cost of the material. Okay, so it is also comes under the cross section based on efficiency. So this is also a concept which is related to the fretted. Now we move on to the trusses and wear and tear columns. So wear and tear is also termed as a trusses. Okay, we need to first clear that. So it is mainly built in a manner of making load distribution in a neat way. Okay, there are many bridges in the world based upon the wear and tear truss. You can take example from the Belgium. You can surf it in Google, so you can know what is meant by wear and tear. So in that bridge you can see that the top horizontal portion, that is horizontal section, will be provided. It will carry the compressive load, and bottom it is also an horizontal member. It carries the tensile load. In between the both, the web thickness, okay, so sorry, not the web thickness, it is a web member which will be given in a vertical position. Okay, so this type of trusses is said to be wear and tear. So in this part you are going to eliminate all the diagonal members. Instead of that you are going to give the vertical web. So this is the difference between the normal truss and the wear and tear truss. Okay, so in this particular concept we are discussing about wear and tear columns. Okay, normally these type of things is not comes in the normal site conditions. But here we are going to manufacture it separately, and we are moving on, and we are going to make it on the site as per the plan. So it is very easy while you compare to the site construction. So in this part we are going to discuss based upon those consideration. So the manufacturing of the components in factory. So you can able to give an horizontal position, so it also easy for shuttering, and also restrict the material, and therefore the reinforcement and concreting is also very simple. Okay, so by this you can make the section materials, sorry, cross section efficiency based on the materials and also the shapes and sizes. Okay, so this is the entire thing about cross section, design of cross sections. Thank you.